Hey everybody, welcome to Fit Tip Tuesday. Today what I want to do is basically a part two of how to adjust your pants pattern for a prominent butt. I got some questions from last week's video where I showed how to adjust the crotch shape based on having a prominent butt, but also considering whether or not you have slender legs or like prominent inner thigh, so you can decide the best way to make more room in the crotch without sacrificing the fit of the leg. So today what I want to do is look from the crotch up to the waist, because the questions I got were regards to how does a prominent butt affect the shape of the straight section of the crotch curve. So let's take a look here. I made copies of my adjusted prominent butt sample legs from last week. So these are already adjusted for a prominent butt. And really what I want to deal with now is what the straight parts of the crotch curve are doing. And when I first learned how to do pants fitting, I was teaching at a national ASG conference, and one of the students in the room was really helpful. She had a lot of knowledge on pants fitting, and she told me that the more prominent your butt is, the more angled your center back seam needs to be. Now, that can be true, and I'm sort of prefacing it with a can be, because it really depends on the shape of your butt, but also how defined your waist is, or how much smaller your waist measurement is. All right, so what I want you to consider is what your waist measurement is doing. So if your waist measurement is, let's say, 6 or more inches smaller than your fullest part of your hip or butt measurement, then that's when you're going to start worrying about the angle of the straight part of the back crotch and also the front crotch. So you can see here, if we measured across here, and I'm just going to draw you some guidelines. So let's say we measure the waist like this. And then we're also going to have to measure the waist here. Now, if you have a front fly opening, you have to remember to subtract the side seam allowance, so a 1/2 inch here, the zipper seam allowance, and also the front crotch seam allowance. So in my patterns, that's 3/4 of an inch total from this edge to here. So in the front, I'm minusing a grand total of 1.25 inches. And in the back, we're just going to minus out 1 inch for the 2 1/2 inch seam allowances. So figure out what that measurement is on your pants pattern and compare it to your body measurement. Okay, so if this measurement is significantly bigger than your waist measurement because you had to pick a size pants pattern that fits your full hip, what you're going to do to get that to fit better is you're going to get rid of some of the extra along the back crotch curve like this. So I basically angled my center back seam. It makes a smaller waist because you're getting rid of this, but it also increases your negative space for more room to sit in. Okay, so you're going to do that in the back, and in the front you can do the same thing. You can angle your center front seam the same way to get rid of some of the extra at the waist, and basically it does two things. It makes the pattern fit, but it also creates a shape that's going to want to come up and sit at your waist. Think about the center front and center back as if they were a dart. So I'm just going to dash in like the other side here. Okay. Now imagine if we were to sew that up or zip that up when we're wearing our garment. What's going to happen is the side seam is going to push up a little bit, because when you close it, I don't know if I can show this on a single piece, but when I close this, you can see this is going to curve up. Okay. And the same thing with the back. When you sew that up, it's going to sort of push the waist and the side seam up a little bit. And that works wonderful if you have a small, smaller or more defined waist for it to sit on. Now, if your shape is like mine and the measurements agree with each other, meaning, my waist measurement's 39, my tummy measurement is 41, my full hip is 40, I think it's like 44. So you can see that it's not as curved. Then you don't want to have these angles. Let's say that the waist measurement that you measured, minusing all those seam allowances I described before, are equal to the pattern. Then you're just going to leave this the way it is. Okay, so you're just going to have whatever the angle is on the pattern, you're just going to go with that. Okay, now if you measure the pattern and your waist measurement is bigger than the pattern, because that can happen as well, then you're actually going to have to do the opposite and straighten out your crotch a little bit. So if I were to draw a line like this, okay, you can see I'm not affecting the horizontal space down here. I'm just adding to the waist up here. Okay, and I wouldn't add it all at the center back. Like, let's say you needed to add in 2 inches. Okay, if you had a 1/2 inch here, and I would add 1/4 here, and then just to keep the shapes similar, I would add 1/4 on the front side. Okay, so you just want to ease in back to your original as quickly as you can here. So in this case, you can see what I did was I added here, and I added here. I like to color. And I added here. So these 3 adjustments will add a total of 2 inches to your waist, and it's going to give you the horizontal fabric that you need to wrap around your body. Okay, so that's how you want to think about it when you're looking at the straight parts of your front crotch and trying to decide if they're the right shape. I will say that in plus size pants and maternity wear, you could also angle out the center front a little bit, but I would keep that to a minimal amount, because you don't want to throw off the center front. If you have a prominent tummy and waist, you can add a little here at the center front as well. But I would keep that to 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch that you're adding there. But basically, that's how you can adjust your pattern for if you have a prominent butt, but you also have a, I don't want to say prominent tummy, but let's say you don't have a defined waist, because I certainly don't. This is how you would adjust it. And then if you do have a defined waist, you're going to take it in. Okay, so if you end up needing to take out more than 2 inches, you can probably get rid of almost an inch on the center back here. You can also, if you need more, you can also take in your side seams. But remember to do it front and back so your side seams stay a similar shape curve. Okay, so you can get rid of it there as well. But basically, that's how you're going to adjust the waist end of your pattern for a prominent butt. And actually, now that I have said all this, this would really ring true for any butt style. So really, this is more about fitting your full or your so really this is more about fitting your defined waist, or if you don't have a defined waist, because really you can use these techniques to fit any style, any shape that you have from the full hip down. All right, so I just wanted to add that information to last week's video. If you have any questions or comments about this, please let me know. I will tell you that the pants fitting class that I'm teaching in January for Fabric Mart Fabric has now sold out. If you're interested in doing pants fitting with me with Fabric Mart Fabric, then please head over to their website, and Julie put a information about how to get on a wait list. So if we collect a wait list, then we can add another class and get everybody in, because I really want to help anyone who needs help with their pants pattern. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I am shooting this or launching this a couple days before the Christmas holiday. So if you celebrate Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful holiday with your family. And there will be no FabFit Friday this week because it's Christmas Eve. But New Year's Eve is on the next Friday. So I will have a FabFit Friday Live New Year's Eve edition, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I hope you join me for that before you head out to your, New Year's Eve celebrations. And I really appreciate you guys sewing and fitting along with me. And thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.